Well, hi, everybody. I'm Leon Thomas here with Miranda Kitterlin-Lynch. We are the co host of Checking In, a lodging DEI chat. Hey, Miranda, hi, how are you?
I'm good, Leon. How are you? I
Oh, everything is tremendously groovy. Did you see that swing there?
saw that.
Yeah, that's that racquetball swing. I'm really happy we had our senior send-off in our racquetball program on just a few days ago, where we have our three seniors that have graduated from high school and they're moving on, going to the University of Maryland,
Nice.
Temple University, and the United States Air Force. So
Awesome. Well,
we are,
congratulations to all three.
yeah, we're big time happy about that. Miranda, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but have you played racquetball?
I try not to run unless it's to save my life. So, no.
Wow. 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 We're gonna have to talk about that one some. No, the producers are saying leave it on, leave it alone, move on, move on. They're saying move on,
I will
move
try
on.
one day. I'll try one day.
All right. And speaking of our producers working today's show, we have Dr. Jay Rasenko, but we also have Karan El Amin, who's one of the players in our racquetball program in Baltimore. And to learn more about that racquetball program, you can go to the racquetball website. It's racquetballrevival.com. Racquetballrevival.com. You can learn about the great things that are happening in Baltimore with racquetball at the base of it, but it's more than racquetball. We have tutors in English and math, and we also offer counseling. So that's at racquetballrevival.com. Miranda,
Oh,
what
I'm ready.
episode?
I'm
Uh
ready.
oh, you even know the question before I ask. This is amazing, amazing.
All right. As long as this is correct on the website, which I'm looking at Red Circle, I believe we're at episode 54.
We'll go with 54, and I believe you are correct. Episode 54.
And it's going to be
And
a super cool episode because we have a guest joining us again who was actually our very first guest on the podcast.
that's right. Looking forward to having another conversation with Brian Barker. And Miranda, you mentioned Red Circle. Folks, you can go to all the podcast platforms. You can find our show. You can listen to it. So, you're sitting in your car and there's nothing better for you to do. You pull up and you listen to our show, and you can also listen to that first episode that Brian was on. So we have our inaugural guest back. Let's bring him on the screen.
Yay!
Yes. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Oh man, I'm great. I'm great. I appreciate that introduction and yeah, I was sort of replaying in my mind. I said I think I was the first guest. So
That's right.
I'm thrilled to be back and hopefully can share some new insights in the world that I'm in. So yeah, congratulations to you all here that almost episode 54, 55. So that's pretty substantial. So congrats to you all and thanks for having me back.
Thank you. Thank you for rejoining us. And you've had a ton of changes, a ton of big things happen since we last spoke with you. Do you want to share with our listeners and with Leon, if he's not aware, what are you doing now? Where is AHED at now? What share?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, thrilled to be back. And yeah, lots of changes in the air. In fact, I'm coming to you all live now from a good friend's mom's living room. I'm in the process of relocating to Maplewood, New Jersey. And I'm expecting a truck of my things to come from Florida arriving tomorrow. So it's great to have friends. And in fact, it's an industry friend and so yeah, so all things ahead, it's been a wild ride, for those who've been following the news and sort of the where we stand as a country related to diversity, equity, inclusion. Governor, unfortunately passed some laws that made diversity, equity, inclusion, almost obsolete in the state. FIU is a great hospitality program and inherently a very diverse school. But the governor was not supportive of, anything related to diversity, equity, inclusion. And so because AHED truly is focused on diverse recruitment, as well as, becoming a pipeline organization to support our industry, you know, we had formed a pretty, diverse and robust council of leaders, and so through their advocacy, I've been fortunate enough to land a role at the Tisch Center, which is at NYU. So the Tisch Center is the hospitality program that's a part of the School of Professional Studies at NYU. So it's an absolute honor to now have an academic appointment there. Um, and this is sort of breaking news. It hasn't been announced yet, but it is an endowed role. I'll pause on how and where it's endowed for now because I know NYU sort of wants to have a press release on that information pretty soon. But it's a prestigious honor. And then also, I will be rolling out an apprenticeship program that connected to that endowed position. And so we have great support there. But as it relates to AHED, AHED is strong. AHED is now a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And in fact, we're actually celebrating a year old right now in terms of our formal founding as a nonprofit organization. So our mission and our organization has been strong, and since we were created at FIU, but now we have a fiduciary board. Our board has grown. We're in the process of socializing a major leader who is general counsel for a management group. So our board is growing even better. We're also rolling out an opportunity for donors to become founding contributor donors. So that will be announced in our newsletter that will be rolled out next week. You'll be able to find that on our website. The board is very engaged, and sponsorships are really now starting to pick up despite the climate around diversity, equity, inclusion. I think our industry is strong in this regard because they recognize diversity is truly key to our industry. So AHED is strong, it's vibrant, we're alive, we're well, we're 501c3, and the board is very engaged. And we are hosting our board meets twice a year in person, and prior to the board meeting in person, we always have a reception. And so we're fortunate this coming November, November 15th to be exact, Friday, November 15th, Marriott headquarters will be hosting our board reception. And so there'll be an open call out to industry leaders to come and to fellowship with us and to also learn more about the mission and the vision of AHED, and give them an opportunity to engage with our board. So yeah, we're strong, we're excited, and we're very optimistic despite some of the news headlines around diversity, equity, inclusion.
Fantastic. And for anyone who's not familiar with AHED, do you want to just share with us quickly what is AHED?
Absolutely. So the Alliance for Hospitality, Equity, and Diversity. And so we have made an improper acronym and we refer to it as AHED. So yeah, Miranda, I appreciate that. And so our mission is strong. I encourage again everyone to go to our website, theahed.org. You can learn about our mission, our vision, our strategy, our key initiatives. And truly what our goal is, it's to amplify a culture of untapped talent. And so, those were some strategic words that, the board has, that really came up with. And really there was a pioneer, within the board who advocated for that language. And always have to give her credit, Dr. Brakita Bradford, which I would imagine you all know. I don't know if she's been a guest yet, but you
Yes,
certainly
she
should.
has. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So you know her well. So Brigida is Dr. Bradford is a dynamic leader, and she really kind of helped the board craft some of the language around our mission and our vision. But essentially, we consider ourselves to be a pipeline organization, and there are two sort of strategic ways for us to achieve that. One is what we're doing, something called campus takeovers. And we had our first successful run at Delaware State University. And we probably we brought about 15 corporate employers. It's like a career fair on steroids. It's almost like a carnival style career fair with classroom engagement. And we realize that this is truly going to be a key initiative, for our industry partners. A lot of industry partners have relationships with colleges, but we're really, you know, putting a unique spin and approach. So we're going into the classroom. And so the one sort of, data point that always sort of sticks into my head, because we have one of the vice presidents with Marriott on our board, Kimberly Reed. She's a vice president in HR. And so one of the key points is that approximately 12% of the corporate employees at Marriott's headquarters have a hospitality degree. And so while we were on the path for our campus takeovers prior to understanding that data point, it really gave a little bit of clarity to what it is that and why we're doing what we're doing. Right? If 88% of the corporate employees don't have hospitality degrees, then why aren't we having conversations with other majors and industries prior to graduation? And so it's sort of through that lens of, talking to young people while they're in college about the amazing career opportunities that exist in hospitality. Because truly our industry, as you all know, I know I'm preaching to the choir now, you all know that there's so many unique, skill sets that you need to have, particularly if, in operations, we have finance, we have sales, we have marketing, we have purchasing, right? So there's so many unique roles that exist. And then, of course, on the corporate side, right, there's texture, right? There's engineering, there's accounting and finance, right? There's so many unique roles that exist that, in our larger ecosystem, that why aren't we having these conversations with young people before they graduate? Why can't we have it be a little bit more intentional of people finding our industry than the vast majority of people kind of incidentally falling into our industry? So that's one of our key initiatives. We're in talks with 2 universities to, finalize where we're going to be in fall. And where we have a really solid partner that we're going to look at in the spring. And so we'll announce both of those schools in the near future. So that's one of our key initiatives. And then our second key initiative is actually going into high schools, right? Identifying talent in the pipeline early in the process. And we have some real dynamic leaders that are really, really committed to this cause. This is a group that we refer to as the Dream Group. There's an acronym for that. That's an acronym that I cannot commit to memory, but it's dedicated recruitment, education. But essentially what it is, it's a group of Cornell alum, and they had a really pivotal, George Floyd moment. They realized that, their graduating class, and most of them, not all, but most of them come from the class of 81. And they realized that, there was a lack of diversity in their graduating class of 81. And as they go back and support, Cornell, they realized that there's still just not enough diversity, in the hotel school. And so they're committed to the AHED mission. And so they truly are committed to primarily funding our recruitment initiative. And so we're going to we'll be hiring actually. So we've secured the funding, we've written the job description, and we'll be posting and circulating it very soon. We are looking to hire what we're calling a senior recruiter. This is someone who is currently a full-time recruiter for a college or university. So someone who understands the ropes of how you can engage with high school young people and understands the process of getting them, enrolled into colleges. And so, but someone who also is senior but has a little bit of bandwidth to support our role. So this will be a part-time position, and this person will go out and recruit for us in our pilot market. So we're going to start with the pilot market. We still, haven't finalized what that market will be, because we want to hire this person and make sure that we get the best advice on what our pilot market should be, so that we can build sort of a data set and proof of concept of this. And so that's essentially going to be our second initiative, so that we can get young people early in high school, get them to, committed to a 4-year program, but then also more importantly, surround them with the necessary support that they need, such as mentorship, as well as advising through the application process. And that's part of what we will be providing. And we're really, excited about this because we know that there's something called the enrollment cliff that, most universities will be impacted, beginning 2025, 26. There's the lack of, our populations and high school graduating classes are shrinking. And so this is going to be a key initiative to help, many hospitality programs attract more diverse talent, and to
Mhm.
get them, committed into our both higher education institutions, but also to get them into the pipeline, into our industry, because we know our industry is still in strong demand for talent.
Yeah. Brian, a lot of what what you said resonates with me, and I'm gonna tell you, gonna go through and tell you how. I was a sport management major in college, and someone that worked in the college's athletic department, actually the athletic trainer, saw me interacting with hotels because part of my job as an intern at the Robert Morris University in the athletic department at Robert Morris University was to make travel arrangements. And he saw me and how I interacted, and he said, "Yeah, you think you want to be the basketball coach at UCLA? Not going to happen. You're going to be in the hotel business." And I'd never given hospitality a thought until that professor, Dr. David Sanoka, mentioned that. The second thing is you talked about high schools. Um, the high school that I attended about 7 or 8 years ago, I wanted to talk to the counselors there, the college counselors, about getting more students to go into hospitality and hospitality related careers and majors. And they said to me, "Well, there's nothing in hotels. You're just going to check them in, check them out, smile, fix things, and clean. That's all you're going to do." And I'm like, "No, you just don't know." So this was when I was with Choice Hotels. We actually brought two administrators down to our offices to let them see all of the career options that are available in the hotel industry. The third point is that one of the players in our racquetball program works at a hotel now. He works at an extended stay hotel near the BWI airport. And so he loves what he does. And here's someone who is just graduated from high school and he's working in the hotel business. So I mean, what you're doing, talking about going to high schools, I love it. I love it. I love it. And of course, you're gonna let me know how I can help, right? You're gonna let me
Absolutely.
know. Okay, please.
Absolutely, Leon. Yeah, no, listen, Baltimore is a great market, and we would love to get more young people from the Baltimore area committed into hospitality. It sounds like you're doing a lot of that great work already. So absolutely, yeah, yeah. I mean, your case study is a great testament to how many people sort of find their path into hospitality, and truly, what AHED's goal is to just be more intentional of recruiting and to helping people find and explore this industry. And there's so many opportunities for education when it comes to career counselors and college counselors, of really just understanding the dynamic aspects of our industry, right. I mean, every major market in the United States, again, preaching to the choir here, but every major market, right, has a tourism marketing agency, right? And many of these, particularly if you're in a world class, tier one city, you probably have offices in multiple countries across the world, right? And many young people have no idea, right? It's tourism, it's hospitality. Full service hotels are like mini cities. So general managers are almost like the mayor, if you will, of a
Yeah,
mini
yeah.
city. While a tragic story, Hotel Rwanda really kind of, just gave us some insight into,
Mhm,
just how magnificent, these hotels are, these assets, are to their communities. And so we want to make sure that we are contributing to telling the story of hospitality and the amazing opportunities that exist within our industry.
mhm.
That's fantastic. And for anyone who's listening who loves what AHED is doing and also wants to support and is thinking to themselves, well, how can I help? What are some ways that they can do that?
Absolutely, Miranda. I really appreciate that question. It's funny. I do have an ops background, and those who have listened to the first, series, I think I talked a little bit more about my background. I come from the lodging world, spent a lot of time with Four Seasons and operations and, guest services and front office. Spent, time in housekeeping. And, I've never always said, I never wanted to sell, right? And now I find myself, as the executive director of a nonprofit, and part of my job is really to sell the organization, right? And that's never fun, but I'm very confident in our mission, and I'm very confident in us being able to align with partners where there's going to be shared value. And so, it's not a sell, but we're a new organization. We certainly do need funding and support. I would hope that you subscribe to our newsletter on our website. We do have a new edition that's going to be coming out, I think, as soon as next week. We're just sort of going through sort of the final vetting process and make sure that the board is, fully comfortable with our messaging. But we're rolling out, our founding contributor, sponsorship package. And this will have an opportunity for people who want to contribute to the organization and have a lasting impact on our mission. As we all know, this sort of, DEI has been under attack. And I understand some components of it, right? Some people want to amplify the inclusion because, there have been some, DEI warriors out here who have sort of made some people feel isolated, and I understand that. But truly, if you look at the Olympics, right? United States, and of course there are many factors, but we truly are a diverse country, and it seems, right, some of the more diverse countries are leading in the podium, right? The medal counts, right? So diversity, I think we win with diversity, and we have to kind of get beyond some of the political climate and really kind of lean on the foundations of what makes this country great, and that's truly people coming from various walks of life, all contributing towards a common cause. And that's truly symbolic of what our hospitality industry is about, right? And the data points are clear, right? The bigger sort of consulting and sort of data mining firms, the McKinseys, the Ernst and Youngs of the world, right? PwCs, all of them have articulated the data points, and we know that organizations who are more diverse are going to be more profitable. But it's also organizations where there's diversity within the upper levels of their organization, right? You challenge the culture, the organization to think about things differently and to be able to relate to your consumers and to then make your organization more attractive to a broader range of consumers, right? That's how we all win with diversity. So yes, to your point, Miranda, absolutely go to our website, theahed.org, have a look, at our, contribution opportunities. There's opportunities to, if you want to make an individual, donation or contribution. If you're part of a corporation and you want to become, a sponsor of AHED, there's an opportunity to do that. Or if you're a member of a foundation, right, and you want to make a transformational gift to ensure that our mission is going to be sustainable, then we certainly, welcome that as well. Again, we have a very diverse board, representation from Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, JLL, I'm sure AHLA Foundation, Bacardi, Southern Glacier Wine and Spirits. I'd be remiss if I didn't sort of, amplify them because, this concept for the Alliance and the initial seed funding for this role to be created at FIU was championed by Southern Glacier Wine and Spirits, right? And so, any of those all of those organizations are at the table and deeply committed, to our mission, to our cause, and making sure that we, have a diverse and a representative, leadership in our industry.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, I love all the work that you're doing. I think it's so valuable. It's so important. I'm a big supporter. What would you say? What would you say is next, or can you share anything that's next for AHED? I know that you shared a couple of goals or what's the word? I don't want
Our
to say
initiatives. Yep.
initiative. Thank you. Um, what do you see being the next big thing for you guys?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So first things first is, the next fresh off the presses, our newsletter will come out next week. We'll have a couple of, key announcements within that. We'll be celebrating one of our first gold level sponsors. We're excited about that. We are again in the final stretches of identifying our fall campus takeover partner. So as soon as we solidify that, we will make that announcement. We have done in our newsletter, we provide a recap from our first campus takeover and the success stories that exist there. So you can look out for that. And then we have finalized our gift agreement with that dream group, the Cornell alums. And so now we have the clearance to hire our senior recruiter. So we're excited about that. So within our newsletter, you're going to see a career opportunity. It's a part-time opportunity. Again, this is the ideal candidate is someone who is very seasoned in college and university recruitment. And so we're full throttle to begin making progress there. Yeah, thank you for sharing our website there. Really appreciate that. So we want to get our senior recruiter hired and actually start. We recognize that the recruitment cycle begins in September, right? And it goes through, the end of the calendar year. And then, once young people, start applying for colleges and universities, usually those application deadlines wrap up around the first of the year, and then colleges make their decisions shortly after. So we want to have some success in the recruitment world and have a small, class of young people that we can contribute to four-year colleges and universities. And then also, again, our reception, November 15th. This is going to be a real dynamic opportunity. I think we're going to be at the top floor of Marriott's new headquarters in downtown Bethesda, Maryland. Really, really beautiful space. I've had an opportunity to tour that corporate space before. Really dynamic space. You have an opportunity to network with our board and to learn a little bit more about our initiatives and the progress that we've been making. So those are just some of the key kind of things that we're doing, and yeah, and we'll also be announcing our gold sponsor in our newsletter very soon. So we're thrilled about the work we're doing. We recognize this is sort of a turbulent climate. We're not thrilled about the charm announcement and removing equity from the acronym, but we also understand it. And so we're committed to the work and making sure that our industry has the talent that they need to keep our industry strong.
Awesome. And you're going to be in Bethesda. How far is that from Baltimore? Because I feel like I hear an invitation in there.
Oh, unequivocally, that's an invitation. Unequivocally, we fully expect you all to be there, and we would hope that you can attend. So, absolutely, yes. So, November 15th, I don't think it's too far. Yeah, Bethesda is only about 10
About
minutes away from Georgetown.
yeah,
So,
it'd take me about 40 minutes to be there. November 15th, I have it. I put it
excellent.
on my calendar and I even wrote it down. So I will be there. So to our
Excellent.
producer Karan, who plays racquetball, Karan, no racquetball on November 15th. Okay, no
Perfect.
racquetball
Perfect.
that day. First, Brian, Miranda, I don't think we were doing the signature questions of the show on our first episode.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, so
So
Brian, grab a pen, pencil, even pretend
Okay.
that you have one
I
if you
got
don't
one.
really have one. And we're
I'm
going
ready.
to in about 30 seconds, we're going to ask you the two signature questions of the show. Here we go, the signature questions of the show. All right, Brian, hold that
I'm
pen up in
nervous.
front of the camera. Go
I'm
ahead.
nervous.
Let's all give us our signatures. Ready? One, two, three. Those signatures. I don't know why mine always goes off the screen. I've got to work on that. I'm leaning over here. That's a long signature. Okay, Brian, it's actually three signature questions. Three signature questions. Number one, number one. Have you ever had a Maryland crab cake?
Yes, yes, I have.
Where did you have a Maryland crab cake?
Okay, it's in uh, Baltimore. It's a big restaurant. It's very big, and I feel like it's on the pier. You have to. I forget the name of it.
Oh, you went to Phillips?
Yes, Phillips.
Okay, so you had a crab cake in Maryland.
No, that was the qualifier. If
That
it's in
was,
Maryland, it's
yeah,
in
it was in Maryland. Yes. Okay, well, you get credit for that when you're winning. Brian, that question started because we had a guest on one of our pre-show conversations. They said, "Oh, I love Maryland crab cakes. I get them from this barbecue place in Kansas City." Like,
I
shut
saw that
up. Shut up.
episode. I saw that
Got that,
episode.
right? All right. Number two, question number two. Have you ever had bean pie?
You know what? Technically, no, I don't think I have, but I'm very, familiar with bean pies. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. The Nation of Islam was quite
Yes.
strong.
Yes.
But I don't think I've ever had a bean
And-
pie, but I'm very familiar with them.
All
Until
right.
I see one with my own eyes, I am convinced that I am being pranked. This is all a hoax.
There,
I've
there
never
is
heard of a bean pie.
there is a video out there about bean pie.
You
Miranda,
can do anything with artificial intelligence these days.
oh wow, that was a fake bean pie. Even our producer, Dr. J, got a photo of bean pie that I took at a Safeway early this week. Bean pie is for real. Brian, November 15th, we'll make sure that we have crab cake, but I will also present you with a bean pie. And then you can tell Miranda it's for real.
Yeah, well, Miranda's gonna be there. So listen, they sell
She's
them,
gonna be there
on the
too. Okay,
street
okay.
corners in Chicago, and I'm sure other cities as well.
Yes. Yes,
So
they do.
absolutely, we got to get Miranda and I a bean pie. We got to try
Yeah,
one.
you
I
gotta
love
get a
it.
bean pie. There's one more
Absolutely.
question. Go ahead.
Okay, all
Right.
right.
Mine's easy. If you could go back in time and give one piece of advice, affirmation, pearl of wisdom, anything to your 20-year-old self, what would it be?
Ooh, it's hard to tell a 20-year-old, anything is what I'm thinking. Um, but yeah, I'm thinking about myself. What would I tell myself? Be patient. Be patient. I think, I remember, I was still in college and someone was asking me around that age, what my career aspirations were. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a general manager before I'm 30. And I think in today's climate, that actually might be possible. But back then, that was a pretty lofty and ambitious goal. So just be patient with myself, and and stay the course, right? That's you know there was I did have a pretty bad accident, a car accident shortly after 20, so I probably would tell myself not to go a certain place at a certain time to avoid that. But other than that, be patient with myself and stay the course.
That's that's really good advice. I think for many aspects of life. I too had a terrible accident right near my 20s, but I call that my first marriage. So
Well, touche,
Wow.
touche.
Wow. Brian, thanks again. Thanks for being with us here. And again, I want to remind everyone to go to your organization's website, and we're going to show that now, the ahead.org. Please go there and find out all the great things that are happening. And if you're in the Baltimore, D.C., Northern Virginia, West Virginia, Southern Pennsylvania area, matter of fact, Southwestern Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, it's a 4-hour drive for you. You come to the Marriott headquarters for the reception on November 15th. So
Absolutely.
please be there, and I look forward to meeting you face to face there, Brian. Thank you so much for being.
Thank you.
And folks, if you would like to be a guest on our show, You can send me an email. Send it to Leon at theleonthomasgroup.com. Tell me you saw checking in and you want to be a guest on the show. Or, Brian, this is like my favorite part of the show right here. You can also contact Miranda. And Miranda, how do they get in touch with you?
Just Google me, Miranda Kitterlin-Lynch, even just Miranda Kitterlin. If you find another one, please let me know. It would blow my mind.
Uh, Brian, can you imagine Miranda's going anywhere where they ask you for your name, and she goes, Miranda Kitterlin-Lynch. And then they get into the secondary and tertiary ID, right? Well, can I have your phone number? Can I, like, do you
First
have
name.
another one in your system? Like what? Oh, so anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Be sure to watch us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and be sure to listen to episodes on your favorite podcast platform. Thanks again for watching Checking In, a Lodging DEI chat. Take care.